Hi, I'm Felicity, registered nurse, cosmetic injector and founder of the Fit Injector Clinic. Welcome to my channel and video podcast streaming on YouTube, Spotify and Apple. Today is episode 8 and I have Iola joining me today. Welcome. I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm pretty wrapped. I've been looking forward to this. Worth the trip up from Melbourne.
So good.
Thank you.
So you are the director and founder, I should say, of Reveal Australia, which distributes Adore Eyes Lash and Brow Serum and the Obsidian Mascara and eyeliner, which I'm wearing today. And you've got a couple of new products too. You've got your Touch It Up kit.
Yes.
And your latest product, which is, I want to learn a little bit more about it.
It's only just been released, so you wouldn't know
and how do I
much.
pronounce it?
La Fervence.
See, I wasn't even going to.
No, that's
I was like,
totally
I'll leave
fine.
that up to you.
Yeah, that's fine.
So today we're going to learn about your incredible journey. So think prostaglandin addiction as your hook to stay tuned for this episode, which led into your lash and brow serum business. And we're going to learn about your long-standing industry experience and how your business is going currently. So take it away. Tell us about yourself.
Oh, it's so indulgent talking about yourself, isn't it?
Isn't it?
But I secretly love it. I have to say, I think it was in my veins when I was born because my auntie's a beauty therapist. So I kind of grew up a little bit in her salon in Western Australia. Wow. And I just wanted to do anything beauty. So I became a beauty therapist. I was a makeup artist and I really early on discovered I love products and the business side of beauty rather than the treatment side. Hats off to what you do because that's not my bag. Yeah. So I definitely love that side of things. And then I started working for product companies. And probably the biggest game changer for me was joining medical aesthetics in 2005. Yeah. Back when things were, back in the collagen days, when things were just starting in medical aesthetics. And that really changed everything for me because I was so fulfilled being able to see how much of a difference you can make to someone's aesthetic. And it was fun. And ever since then, I've just been obsessed, but still with products, I must admit. And then working with I'm very lucky. I've been able to work in lots of different roles. I've had lots of reincarnations working in different things. That's the great thing about aesthetics, right?
There's
never
so
leave.
much you can do in this space.
Yes. And that's the great thing about a career in this industry. You can sort of find your niche, and I definitely found my niche in education because I love training. So I kind of gravitated towards those roles with filler company like QMed, Galderma, and then Valiant.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, 8 years I was with, 9 with QMed, Galderma.
Amazing.
Yeah, I loved every second of it. And then I got back into skin because I realized more of the medical aesthetic brands could really deliver a result. So I worked with a couple of US brands, managing senior roles. But at the heart of it, over the last sort of 10 years, I realized I really wanted to have my own wholesale business. Yeah. And to be honest, that was born out of what I think and what I saw as being a necessity is being able to offer retail products to cosmetic medicine clinics who are, treatment centric, modality centric. The beauty world is not what it used to be. The majority of beauty and medical aesthetic clinics are all modality based. So whether you're an injector, as you know, laser, whether you're using what do you call them? I've had a blank. Needling devices.
I was like, what's this?
Yeah, I'm doing this in the background.
It's like a clicker pen?
Yeah. Needling, micro-needling, dermabrasion, microdermabrasion, whatever it may be. Everyone's really modality-centric. Yeah. And so retail has gotten a bit of a back seat. And I witnessed this over my years in Galderma, and I noticed that it's almost like people had to choose. Am I going to talk about retail or am I about the products, or am I going to just do a treatment? And let's face it, when you can get bang for your buck with a treatment as opposed to an at-home treatment that might not give you as dramatic results, you're going to choose what delivers the biggest and the best.
Absolutely.
And also, for your revenue as a modality-based clinic, you make a lot more money as well with that. So my niche with Reveal and starting it as a wholesale company was retail solutions that work alongside modalities, that really bring modalities to life or definitely don't detract from them. And products that are really easy. I like to make things really easy for people.
And you certainly have.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, good. Yes, because you're one of my stockers. So I'm pretty proud of that. I was rapt when you took on Adore Eyes.
I'm so excited to have it. And I'm
good.
using all of the products.
Oh,
and I
awesome.
can say it's so easy to use.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that was really the idea. And rather than having retail detract, I just wanted it to enhance everything that you're trying to do as a clinician and bring more business to the salon or clinic, and maybe have a slice of the pie that some of those big e-commerce people are getting at the moment, like your Meccas and the Adore Eyes. Like, people are buying. Yeah. But I'd rather they buy from you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, good.
So you've touched a little bit on sort of, I guess, well, your background, but what about the beginnings of your business?
Of Reveal, yeah. So my first exclusive distributorship was with a product called Adore Eyes. Yeah. And like all good things, it kind of started out of personal necessity.
Yes.
I was one of those, my lashes were my thing.
Your story. Yeah. Let's get comfy.
I did do that a bit, didn't I? Let me just sit back and talk about myself. It is a good one because even though it was a dramatic time, 4 years ago, it was actually at the Stephen Liu conference. I ended up having emergency surgery on my eyeball, and that was due to the fact that ultimately I had overused prostaglandin or hormone-based lash serums, which in this country and many other countries are supposed to be prescription. And I always found a way to get them into the country, and I knew what I was doing, admittedly. And I put up with the styes and the red eyes and the dry eye because I love my lash aesthetic.
Because your lashes look great.
They were really long, like they were crazy long. And that became part of my aesthetic until they weren't. And that is because I've randomly got this bit of mascara stuck in my eye like everybody does. And instead of flushing it away with my tears, I had no tears. I literally had a dry eye syndrome. And the surgeon sat me down at the end and said, look, have you got a genetic condition? And I sort of went, prostaglandin,
Like tail between your legs.
I kind of knew. So they got that bit of mascara out, and you can imagine eyeball surgery, being wide awake. So of course, horrible. I'm not going to keep up with the prostaglandin serums after that. So I went on a mad rampage to try and find something that worked but without all the side effects.
Totally.
And I needed something that was going to be good for my eyes. So I tried 10 different brands.
10.
Yep. And I did a lot of research with my friends. They were my clinical trial group.
AKA guinea pigs.
Yeah, totally. Always your family, right?
Totally.
Family and friends. So I found this one product and I fell in love with it. And then I fell in love with it even more when I met the founders and formulators. Yeah. And that was Adore Eyes. It's a Canadian product, and Canada has the same cosmetic regulations as Australia. So there was no chance of it having any spiking of any prostaglandin. I know, right? Can you believe they do that? All these underhanded things go on in our cosmetic world. Who would have known? Wow. Who would have thunk it? Yeah. So once I found Adore Eyes, used it, did my little local trial. Yeah. It gave great results without any compromise to eye health, and it was regulatory tick of approval, which was so important to me because 80% of my clients are medical aesthetics. Well, you're not going to risk a fine over a lash serum, are you?
Exactly.
So it just ticked every box, and it's grown and grown since then. So I've got about 180 stockists now around Australia.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
That's
it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So that's what started things off.
So good.
Yeah.
And my question, when you got the mascara in your eye and you had that surgery, was that before it was widely known about these ingredients being put into these products, or was that as it was just starting to sort of become a bit more widely known?
That's a really good question. And from a clinician perspective, we were aware, but not the consumer. Definitely not the consumer.
Yeah.
And since it all came out, because some brands were putting the prostaglandin in their product and not declaring it, which is like a real no-no.
That's
you do not
so
do that.
bad.
It's a drug.
Yeah.
The reason why it's a drug is that because of the side effects. So prostaglandin is actually a glaucoma medication.
Yeah.
And they just found that when glaucoma patients used it, it grew their eyelashes. Yay.
They had great eyelashes.
Yeah. So the consumer really didn't know.
know.
And since then, the expose on that the whole market,
It's crazy.
it was, articles in the Age, lots of forums on it. I guess that kind of helped, that education, but I feel like I'm a bit of a Lash ambassador now. Like I feel it's my duty to educate people on it.
And I think with a story like that, and that's part of the reason
I don't want anyone to go through it.
Yeah, like when we met at a conference, like I listened to your story and I just couldn't believe it. And then I was like, I need these products in my clinic. And also the other reason why I wanted to get you on the podcast to share that a bit more widely and why you've got these great products now.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, because the more I can share it with people, the better it is. And there is a bit of a concern now because people that were using those prostaglandin serums that maybe didn't have as bad a side effects as what I did, they're trying to buy them from overseas. And the problem is, if you buy something, because for example, in America, they are approved to buy over the counter. If you have a problem, you are stuck. No one's going to help you because you've illegally essentially imported a product. Exactly. So that is still going on. I was in a salon the other day and they had them for sale in their clinic. Yeah. And I just said, look, it's not worth it because if something happens to your client's eye, you're going to have no protection because you're selling over the counter what is essentially a prescription drug.
Because what if one of their clients, similar thing happened to you and then they're trying to maybe get that salon to pay for their surgery or,
Exactly. Exactly. Like but the addiction is real. And because I had that, I kind of get where they're coming from, but then that's what gives me the impetus to tell people. Yeah.
Scary. Yeah. And I think there's probably still people out there that don't realize.
Oh, I think we still have a long way to go. Yeah, I really do. And it's hard for people like yourselves that stock a non-prostaglandin because there's always going to be some people that just insist on it. And that's just part of our role as clinicians is to educate. Yeah.
And I think the biggest question I get, because I talk about, it's natural and it's eye friendly and all these, and they're like, yeah, but does it work? Because they think it needs these harsh, things that they're going to get addicted to for it to work. Yeah. I'm like, it actually does.
It does. It just takes a bit longer.
Exactly.
And it won't ever grow to the length that you're going to have to trim them. Which could happen. Day. I've seen it too. Not in person. I've only seen it on TikTok too. But it is important to let people know. I love an analogy.
Yeah.
To me, Adore Eyes is like going to the gym and eating healthy.
Beautiful.
Whereas the prostaglandin serums are like taking a steroid. It gives you the same results, but at a cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be side effects.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Totally. Hope you're enjoying this podcast. Today's episode is sponsored by the Fit Injector Clinic Mentoring Program, business mentoring for cosmetic nurse injectors. If you are a registered nurse who wants to become a cosmetic injector or an existing cosmetic injector who wants to start their own business or scale up your existing business, I have just launched an online version of my mentoring program with video modules for you to work through in your own time, downloadable information for you to keep, and a strategy call once you've completed that with me for 30 minutes to answer any questions that you have about starting or scaling up your business. If you want to get started, email me at admin@thefitinjector.com.au. So you started with your lash and brow products and you've grown to multiple products. So tell us a little bit about, I guess, the expansion of your business.
That was always the intention.
Yeah.
And because I have a skin background, it's taken me the longest to find a skin product, which I've just launched, which is very different to what I've experienced in the past, in that it is extremely luxe product called La Favance.
Yeah.
It
sounds luxe.
It is. I have to give you some so you can experience it.
I feel like that's like an ASMR, like La Favance.
We should do an
Ooh,
ASMR with
ASMR
it.
of your moisturizer.
We should do that. Well, it's funnily because when you actually scoop it out of, it's in this beautiful jar as well.
It looks gorgeous.
It's an amazing brand, and it's French Australian, which hello, Cosmos certified. It's everything that the modern consumer really appreciates. So that bit of luxe and sensory aspect, but it also delivers clinical results, which is what was the biggest surprise to me.
Yeah.
And that's important to me, and to provide that to my stockers. So that's been the latest edition, and it's super exciting.
Yeah.
And the second product after Adore Eyes that I launched was TUK Makeup, which that's the one you mentioned. It's like a compact that you use to touch up, and it's got everything you need in it in one tiny little thin compact. But a lot of people are using it as their whole day makeup now. People like just a natural look. Yeah.
So good.
And that's doing really well. That was created by a couple of amazing Aussie makeup artists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So I don't have a specific country, or I just think, look, we're in a global world.
Yeah.
I'm happy to just, if it's the best product in its category, I want to know about it.
Yeah.
And if I think it can work in a clinical environment and enhance everything that you're already doing, then I want to know about it. I've rejected 6 brands and it takes a long time to trial a brand, and the other brands, there was just something not quite right. Because I feel such a huge responsibility to, if I sell something, I have to really hand on my heart, believe in it, heart and soul.
Totally.
So even if I was to only ever have these 3 products, I'd be happy. That's fine.
Yeah.
If there's nothing more, that's fine.
I'm good with
I
know them, I love them, I trust them.
Yes, exactly.
And the mascara and eyeliner as well.
Yes, so Obsidian was created by Adore Eyes, and it has one of their peptides from their lash serum in it.
Yes.
And the point of difference really with the Obsidian mascara and eyeliner is that they're great for sensitive eyes. And I know you're one of those people. And a really natural result. So it's not going, and it, there's some other benefits, like, for example, it's easy to remove. It's a really beautiful inky black finish. But it's all about treating the lashes, and that's what Obsidian does so well. So even if you've got lash extensions or you have lash lifts and you don't even use a lot of mascara, it's really good to treat the lashes similarly to what the lash serum does. Yeah,
which I love. And I can definitely vouch for the mascara and eyeliner. I've been using them since we met earlier this year. At the conference. I won them because I answered
You did win them
from your quiz.
I promise that was like a totally candid random drawing out. It was.
Well, I answered them, I thought I was listening.
No, you were perfect. You're perfect.
And up until then, I've actually had a really long history of sensitive eyes, and any makeup around my eyes makes me red, dry, watery, blah, blah, blah. I'd almost given up, and I was just getting like the lifts and tints done and like not wearing any makeup. Started using your products earlier this year. Within the first application, no eye issues. And I was addicted to flushing out my eyes, addicted to eye drops, like for years.
Wow.
And I haven't had a single issue since I've been using your products.
That's
and I don't think I've
so
probably
good to
communicated that to you
That's
yet.
awesome to hear. I know you enjoyed them and you did that beautiful little video with them. And I could see the result on you, but that's really good to know.
And at one point I was blaming, at my old clinic, I was blaming the air conditioning, I was blaming the candles, I was blaming the room scents. I was like just going home looking like I'd had this full allergic reaction every day from products that were the natural options, and I was trying everywhere, chemists and Mecca and Sephora, like all the natural options, and they're definitely not. But yours, absolutely. So not a single issue. And the serums, I'm also using the lash and brow serums at home. And what I'm finding in particular, what I'm noticing so far is I actually lost the hair on my head fine from my pregnancy and breastfeeding. My eyebrow hairs. When I was seeing I saw like the girl who was doing my eyebrows, unfortunately she's moved overseas, but I've been seeing her for years. And after my pregnancy and after breastfeeding, she's like, babe, I've got to tell you something. Your eyebrows are falling out. And I was like, like I'd rather my hair fall out than my eyebrows. Anyways, I've been using your serum and they are definitely less gappy. And I've only been using it for a really short time, like probably not even 2 months yet. and already noticing a change. So I'm really keen to continue using those products and see if I get my nice fluffy brows back.
I'm sure you will.
Because
brows take a bit longer than lashes, which is frustrating.
But I'm already noticing like the big gaps that I had feel like they're
filling in,
not as big.
That's amazing. I mean, postpartum lash and brow loss is a thing. It is a thing. We're finding it's almost niched itself in some ways because of the change in our hormones. It affects everything.
It's wild.
Yeah,
and people only talk
Nobody
about like
tells
the hair on your head.
Yeah.
No one talks about the lashes and brows, which I cared about way more.
Yeah.
Because I've got so much hair. I was like, I don't care if I lose a bit of that. So there you go. So if anyone out there is losing lashes and brows after pregnancy and breastfeeding, get onto this product.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's good.
Thank you for the testimonial. That's good for people to know.
We'll chop that up into a little
testimonial. I love it.
For
Thanks.
You.
Don't mind if I do.
So tell us about who are your customers predominantly?
Definitely medical aesthetic clinics, injector clinics like yourself. But I think that's mostly because that's the world I've been in the last sort of 15 years. And then beauty salons, medi spas, they're generally who are my stockists. Yeah.
Great.
Yep.
Amazing. And what does a typical day look like for you?
The best thing about what I do now, and you'll probably vouch for this too, is the variety in my day. I'm so enamored with all parts of what I do because it's varied and I can really hone in on skills that I have. The biggest part of my day is clients. So whether that be training or just giving advice or talking to them about products, doesn't have to be my products. Or just general education and support, that's my bag. And I'm a people person, so that's what makes me most happy. But then I do also a bit of my own marketing and I collaborate with a great marketing crew that I have. One of the best things about my job is the collaboration and the real partnership I have with the products, the product owners of that. They are amazing to deal with, and we actually collaborate and work on things together. So I might do a bit of consulting with them. We work on NPD, new product development, which is really exciting. I do a bit of writing and public speaking as well. Event coordination, that takes up so much time. Conferences, how many have there been this year?
Oh my gosh, so many.
Yeah,
and
everybody's
like we were just
jumping
talking about
on it.
off air is just what goes into like you going to a conference, and like you're here in Sydney this weekend to attend the beauty expo just as yourself, and how much you're looking forward
I'm
to
so
that,
excited to just be
as opposed
an attendee.
to having a spot there.
Yeah. So there is a lot of work that goes
you just
into
did
that. NSS.
The NSS. And that looked like it was a massive few days for you.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was awesome though. And having people in the one place is pretty special. And you get to catch up with a lot of people you've known as well. But that's a big part of my job. Write a journal. Sometimes I'll write pieces for journals. It's really varied.
Really varied. Yeah.
I'm lucky.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Can you give us any insight into your future plans?
Definitely two things. Bringing on new products. So
more.
Yeah. So a couple of the products I already have will be they've got new products in development.
Yeah.
So there'll be an extension to the line, so to speak. So that's going to be exciting because we've already got a footprint with those brands, and their new product development is just next level because they've already established that. So that will be the next big thing. And the other thing is I want to grow. It's too much for me what I'm doing. I'm finding I'm spread myself a bit thin.
Are you a one-woman show?
Pretty much. So I contract out different parts of, essentially my role, but I would like to bring in more people to be supportive of the Reveal brand, whether it be a training representative out on the road, marketing, that sort of thing. So I can't wait for that because I like people and I like a team.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And you do have to recognize that point of I'm spreading myself too thin.
Yeah. You can't do everything. And other people are way more skilled at certain things than what I am. So I'm happy to embrace that.
Well, and that's the other thing, isn't it, is recognizing I'm not actually a specialist at that. I need to outsource for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of trying to do absolutely everything yourself.
Exactly. Even the writing that I do, it's a passion of mine, writing.
Yeah.
But it takes me so long that it's counterproductive.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to outsource that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot about myself in the last 6 months in having to outsource, because I've always been someone who just does absolutely everything myself.
And it's letting go of that
and
control.
And then I hit total burnout point a few months ago, and I'm like, all right, we're going to outsource. We're going to get more help.
How have you found it? Have you actually found the right people?
I have, yes. Still in the process of finding some of the right people. But definitely my receptionist / admin, Lucy, she's just absolutely incredible at her job, and she's just taking on more and more and more responsibility at the moment, which is great, as we kind of, because we've been open here for 6 months, so we're just really like settling into our roles. And then my husband has really stepped up his role as our media manager, so really taking on board a lot of that content. And even just recently I've had to say to him, look, I need you to actually start planning out my content, because I don't even have the time now. I used to sit down once a week to be able to plan out that weekly content, and I'm like, I don't even have the time for that now. So really stepping up his role. And then things like, I used to work on my website and things like that. I've outsourced. I'm like, someone else can do that. Yeah. And just, really relying on those other people. And then the next thing is just getting the right injectors in here.
That's the hardest thing, right?
Which has been the hardest thing. Yeah. And especially when you build a personal brand. And then I know that long term, it can't just be me being the only person injecting, especially when we're having this influx of new patients coming through the doors every single day. Is I don't want to end up in a situation where A, I'm burnt out, but B, that my poor regulars who've been seeing me for years can't get an appointment for weeks. So definitely I've got an injector starting next week.
Oh, really?
Fully experienced, which is super exciting. And they approached me, actually. She's a cosmetic doctor, and I've known her for a while. So then that opens up a whole host of things that we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise, actually having a doctor on site. So that's really exciting. And then my plan is in 6 months' time to have another cosmetic nurse who will predominantly focus on skin treatments. So that's the plan. So I'll kind of do everything. The doctor will do injecting, and then another nurse will do predominantly skin. So that's the plan. Anyways, we digress.
Sounds perfect.
Yeah.
It's great when people come to you, because they know what you're about. They've been watching you, or you know them, and then it just makes life so much easier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So really
that's
looking
exciting.
That. I know,
done.
Finally.
That's kudos to you. That's actually a really big deal.
Yeah. I'm super excited.
Yeah. Well done.
So back to you. If you could only take one product on holiday, what would it be?
Such a good question. To be honest, if I'm on holiday, I want something that's going to add to the experience of the holiday, just because now I've got my own business, I don't go on holidays much. So I would want something that is going to embrace everything that the holiday's about, be very sensory, experiential. I'm talking about the Éclat Extraordinaire from La Favance, because it is like having a little mini skin holiday every day.
Yeah,
it is all of that. And I think that could be a good one to take on holiday.
Amazing.
One day when I get to go on a holiday, I will take it with me.
I feel like my question should be, if you ever get to go on a holiday ever again.
You should reword it, because But that is, and also the fact it does 3 different things.
Yeah.
So less things to take with you, which is always a good thing.
I know, because on holidays you want to be really simple with your skincare, don't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Which you're going to laugh at my next question.
What is it?
I should scrap this one. How do you find a balance between running a business, being a mum, and taking time for yourself?
Who was it that said, I bet you wouldn't ask a man that? Who was that actress that said that when they said, how do you manage being a super mum? But it is a very good question, because we all want to know.
Yeah.
I'm a single mum. I have an amazingly supportive partner and a 15-year-old child that now gets it. So she's amazing, and she supports me. Like, this is where it gets easier. I promise you,
So
Felicity.
I've only got 15 years to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've got to wait.
Yeah.
Maybe 14.
Okay.
It started, turning the tables.
So it was only 14.
Yeah,
it got easier.
yeah. That's it.
Wow.
So yeah, it does get easier.
They don't come with a big enough warning label, do they?
No, you'd be surprised. And it doesn't. Being a parent is for life. But I have to say, I don't martyr myself to anything. Yeah. So I think sometimes as mums, we tend to feel like we need to wear a badge of mumhood and try and prove everything to other people. And I honestly just think being candid with those around you, asking for help, that's what I do. So I have my parents that help me with Claudia a bit, and they're great to rely on. Sometimes my dad is also my courier.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
So, because sometimes I'm not happy with the couriers I use, so I get him to do little runs here and there, which is amazing. And there's no real secret solution except that you do, have to take some time out. So I do walking, and sometimes when I can, I do a dance class, which is what makes me. Yeah, which is what makes me really, really happy. So, and that I'm going to say it on air, I want to start doing my medals again in ballroom. I did that when I was younger, and I kept getting to silver medal in Latin American, and then I would stop for some reason, often because the men in the class were really sleazy. So I just jumped from some school to another.
Yeah.
But now being older, that won't be a problem. So I think I'll start up again.
Well, you never know.
I don't think so.
But I feel like you'd know how to handle them better, right?
That's a really good point. That's exactly exactly right.
Like you wouldn't be afraid to be like, you're being a bit sleazy.
Excuse me. Yeah, they wouldn't want to mess with me. I think I might have that bit of an aura about me now.
Don't mess with me.
Yeah.
I love that. All right, well, we're going to hold you to that.
Yeah, that's me saying it now. I've never said that
I'm going to be waiting on Instagram. I want to see these stories.
Yeah, I've done it now.
Good.
I've done it. Yeah.
Amazing. All right. So, some questions. Tell us the key ingredients in your lash and brow serum.
The thing that makes Adore Eyes Lash and Brow Serum works ultimately is the 3 peptides. So triple peptide, it's designed to work on each stage of lash growth, which is how it manages to work. Anagen, catagen, and telogen. Remember those?
Yes, I do.
It's got a vitamin complex too. So a lot of the skincare ingredients we know and love, like niacinamide, panthenol, soybean extract, they're all designed to nourish and support the strength of the lashes. And it's also got a cool ingredient called, it's a complex, it's DHT blocker. So DHT is dihydrotestosterone, which we tend to produce more of at different stages in our life, whether it be hormonal or through sickness.
Yeah.
DHT signals the lashes to fall out prematurely. So there's an ingredient in Adore Eyes that actually stops that. It's almost like an inhibitor. It stops the DHT from signaling the lash to fall out prematurely. Incredible. And that's one of the reasons with postpartum that they fall out too. Yeah. So that's a really cool ingredient in Adore Eyes. Yeah.
And what do people need to look out for in lash serums in terms of ingredients that they shouldn't be using? Like, is it really obvious that there's, say, prostaglandins in lash serums, or can it be hidden as like different words, or like you did touch on it, sometimes it's not in the ingredient list?
Did this question come from someone that wrote in? Because that's a really awesome question. So whoever you are, that's a really good question, because it is hard to figure out what the ingredients are because they have really long names.
Yeah.
Basically, if the product has prostaglandin in it, it will have somewhere in the word prost. It could be bitmaprost.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's so many different, I think there's 4 different types of prostaglandin. So if you see those PROST, it definitely has prostaglandin in it.
Run.
Hands down. And put it down and please try not to use it. The other thing to watch out for, there's a lot of lash serums out there that are absolutely fine. They just might only have one peptide in them. So it's not that they're going to do you any harm. So there's a lot of lash serums that are just fine. But with 3 peptides, it's obviously going to give you greater result. And they're peptides that work on the specific stages. The other thing to look out for is no fragrance and no retinol.
Yes.
So you don't want those 2 ingredients around your eyes.
Even if you use like a retinol serum close to your eye, it can irritate.
Exactly. So they're the other 2.
Jumped the gun on the next question.
Oh, okay.
So what are the other things to look out for?
In a lash serum?
Yes.
Oh. The feel.
Yeah.
So if it stings, it's not good.
It's not good.
It really needs to feel good, and it needs to have a serum type texture.
Yeah.
So that's definitely it. You want to make sure it's been hygienically sealed. That sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised.
Yeah. And until we met and you actually showed the products at the conference we were at, it actually hadn't occurred to me, and not that I was religiously using lash serums prior to that, but I love that yours is a sealed box, and then when you open it, you've actually got to undo the plastic as well.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah, definitely 2 things to look out for, and that was very important to me as well. And check for where it's made.
Yes.
You could be surprised what you might find inside the box, which is, it can be deceiving. So Canada, Australia, they're 2 great places to get things made from.
Like you touched on, same regulations.
Yeah. Whereas if your product comes from China, they don't have a regulatory control. So it's really hard to know what you're getting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is it true that the lash serums with the prostaglandins can change the colour of your eye?
Yes. And they did.
Did yours change?
Yes. So it tends to, some people find it can put a brown speck in their eyes. Some people find it changes their eyes more to a brown colour. One of the most common things you see, and by the way, any lash serum that says can cause sensitivity, can darken the eyelids, the only ingredient that causes that is a prostaglandin.
Okay.
So even if it doesn't have it written on the ingredients list, if it says it does that, that's the only ingredient that can do that. So you get like a bluish line that looks like an eyeliner.
Like an old tattoo.
An old tattoo. That's that's how to tell as well. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
I know,
wild.
it's crazy.
Do you sell directly?
Good question. No, I don't. Do you know, I thought about it, because in some ways it's a great idea to reach a broad audience. Even if you're not selling a great deal to them, you can have a really different marketing strategy that builds awareness. But my bag is salons and clinics, and I do everything I can to support them. I don't necessarily think it's bad to sell direct, but that's just what I do best. And taking on an e-commerce side to my website was just not something I wanted to explore, and I won't. I like the space I'm in too much, and as much as I can to make life easier for stockists, I do. And none of my products are on like Adore Beauty or any of those discount.
And I have to say, one of the reasons I do like working with you and why I choose to work with brands like you is that when people come in, that the products they're getting in here, they can't just jump on Adore Beauty. They go, oh yeah, I really like that, and you give them all the education, and then they jump on Adore Beauty and they get
when they do that?
a 2-for-1 special or something like that.
Oh, and then they come back and say, oh, can I ask you a question about this product? And you're like,
or can I get a sample of that product? Or, and so
do they do that?
And that's why I definitely like have the skincare I have as well. And I actually did a podcast with her the other day, and one of her main reasons for setting up her business, and she doesn't sell direct either, she sells to salons and clinics, is for those exact reasons. Because you actually have to get it from that place. So it's not like undermining that clinic at all.
And to that point, part of what I do, and one of the things I work on a lot, is giving salons and clinics tools to help grow their retail, whether that be teaching them retail skills or giving them digital assets to use. So for example, it's plug and play with me. With Reveal, every product you basically get a digital folder that's ready to go. So if you do have an e-commerce, you can sell all my products on your e-commerce. You've got all social tiles you can use straight away. So it makes it easy, especially if you've got a social media manager. You just flick them the folder, the digital folder, and it's all done.
Totally. Yeah. Which that just triggers, I've got to let the website people know to add your products into the new website.
Yes. There's lots of new imagery too. So the link I give you that I would have given you at the start, that just gets updated. So you don't I don't need to keep telling you when there's new things. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Amazing. So what's next for you?
Well, as we know now, I have to go and get my medals with dancing, don't I? Next for me is definitely bringing on more people to be part of Reveal. Working on collaborating more with the companies I work with, and bringing new products into the portfolio.
That's so good. And I feel like I want to try a few more of your products now.
Have I tempted you?
Yeah, you have.
I'm pretty passionate about them. I wouldn't be a distributor of them if I wasn't.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to have to hit you up.
Okay. Amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 8 of this video podcast series. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. A huge thank you to Iola from Reveal Australia for joining me today. It was so good to talk to you.
It was so much fun. Definitely worth a visit up from Melbourne. I loved it. I want to sit here and keep talking.
We should plan a future one.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Be careful what you wish for.
Thanks
for having me.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Bye.